sports fans. It's Weir, Eder. RunBlogRun here. Athletics Chat 6. Stuart Weir is enjoying his evening in Oxford, England. And I'm sitting here in San Jose, California with birds chirping in my backyard. And, hummingbirds, dotting around the back of my head and lizards crawling. And I'm going to tell you what we talked about today. Okay? All right, get your sack lunch. Open up that nice cerveza. I hope like a Negro Modelo or a Bohemian, or, have some Clamato juice, hey? One of those great gifts from Canada, which I do like with a Negro Modelo, by the way, and a little lime and a little salt. Anyway, okay, I digress. So, topic today, Athletics 6, Chat 6. Svein Arne Hansen, who was the president of European Athletics since 2015, he's the former meet director of the Oslo Bislett Games. He was the former head of the Norwegian Athletic Federation, an innovator, a man who loved the sport, died on Saturday. He succumbed to a stroke that he had back in March, which he had battled for several months, and he's going to be sorely missed. Svein was a character. He loved what he did. He was a backslapper. He would tell you jokes. He knew something about you. Every time I saw him after 2015, he had something nice to say, and you just don't see that in leaders like that. But most importantly, he leaves a legacy for European athletics. And the group that he built will continue to build European athletics. European athletics have kind of fallen to the wayside because all these great athletes from Africa, all these great athletes from the U.S., but then you started having the Ingebrigtsens. You had Daniel Stahl from Sweden. You had Renaud Lavillenie from France, Christophe Lamotte, Katerina Stefanidi. Just some amazing athletes from all over Europe. And the kids were getting into it. And the kids were getting into it specifically because of the programming that European Athletics was putting together. It is streaming video. They had good announcing. Our buddy Phil Minshul did a lot of that. But they communicated to the younger generation. And these kids participated, but they also are all over social media. And they're into the up-and-coming European athletes. And there's great opportunities there for athletes all over Europe. And Svein Arne Hansen got it. He knew how to work with managers. He knew how to work with athletes. He knew how to work with the federations. He knew how to deal with the global politics of sports, because there's a lot. And he championed European athletics. And that's his legacy. What he did at the Oslo Bislett Games is amazing. For years, that for me was one of the first meets I knew about in Europe. Ron Clark, the great Australian athlete who would race in Europe 30, 35 times a season, started running in Sweden and Norway back in the mid-'60s. And he's a big part of the reason why we have these lovely summer evening meets. And, I went to them for 10, 12 years. I'm missing them terribly this summer. Being in Sweden and Norway this time of the year is amazing. And enjoying a track meet, being able to go out and talk with your friends afterwards, bumming around Stockholm, Oslo, Malmo, Copenhagen. It's always a lot of fun. Svein got that. He also got the sports as entertainment, and he did an amazing job really bringing European athletics back, and that's his legacy. And the people that he championed in all those positions get that and will continue to build that. And I look forward to going to European Championships again in the future and know that his spirit will be there. Stuart and I talked about London Marathon, Wanda World Marathon Series. We're just not sure it's going to happen, at least not in any way that resembles the marathons that have been put on at London in the past. Virgin Money Marathons is, I've told the story before. David Bedford, the former director of the race, would do this little cocktail party on a barge right by the Guaman Hotel on the Friday night, and the tickets were sought after. And occasionally I got to go. Thanks, David. But my favorite moment was when David would get up there with a beverage and say, "Welcome to the greatest marathon in the world." And standing next to him were the people from Boston, the people from New York, the people from Berlin, and they all cracked up. There was a healthy competition between those events. They're wonderful events. Competition is good. It's not a bad thing. Competition between events is good too, as long as you figure a way to make it work. The issue is right now, the only marathon that's happened was Tokyo. And that was, I love the people in Tokyo, but, it just wasn't there. It wasn't a whole race. This is not just about the elite part of the sport. It's about the entire part of the sport. The entire sport, the 5-hour runners, the 4-hour runners, the 3-hour runners, the 2-hour runners, okay? It's all there. And sponsors do it not just because of the elites, but because of everybody. And rightly so, the City of London supports the marathon. The mayor, I think the mayor of London's awesome. I'm fascinated with him, and I love the way he stands up to some of the people in the U.S. Hope to get to interview him sometime. But he's got to look out for what's best for the city. They just had some stabbings the other day, too. So there's whack stuff going on, and they've got to figure it out. But COVID-19 is a real issue, and we're not even finished with the first wave. We're already talking about a second wave. So he's got to look at that. Stuart and I also talked about the Olympics. We don't see how it's going to happen in 2021. This is nothing. We're not blaming the LOC. We are actually celebrating the LOC and the IOC for their transparency. We know it's difficult, and we know it's difficult for the sponsors. And look, I love NBC Sports and their coverage and all the stuff these guys have done for athletics. It's huge. But right now, there's millions of lives at stake. This is not a joke. This is not an alien invasion. This is not a political stunt. This is real. Science isn't left or right. And I wish people would stop doing that. And also, don't hide behind your religion and say, well, science is wrong. If you believe in a divine creator, how can you not believe in evolution? And politically, I do not understand how Republicans or Democrats question the science. It's fluid right now because we just don't know a lot. But you got to be careful. So, socially distance. Wash your hands 20 seconds. Hard thing for guys to do. But do it. And I do it probably 15, 20 times a day. And if you're like me, over 60, have heart stuff, had cancer, you need to watch out for those things. And if you have family members that are like me, watch out for them, okay? You may not get sick, but others will. Masks do help, okay? Just have one in your pocket all the time. I have 2 in my pockets. We went up and down the coast yesterday for Father's Day, and I got out a few times, and I had my mask on, and people looked at me like, what? I have a 49ers mask, okay? So anyway, Olympics, it's going to be a challenge. We wish them the best. I love the Olympics. This has been my 10th Summer Olympics. But alas, right now, I think it's about 50-50. Seb Coe last week spoke about COVID-19 and a few other things and how it's going to change the sport. And he said something that's really important about the sport and sustainability and why it's ludicrous to have these big congresses and fly people around the world 4 times a year or whatever the number of times is. When a business class ticket can be anywhere from 8,000 euros, 8,500 or 7,500 sterling, 10,000 US. That adds up. And Zoom, you can do it. And you can see people's expressions, and you can chat. You can have side conversations. You can do all the little political tete-a-tetes that you need. So nice job, Seb. That's good. That saves us about $15 million a year. British Athletics update. British Athletics is looking for a head coach, which they have not had in a while. I queried if Mr. Van Komene was a head coach, and they believe he was a performance director like the late, great Neil Black. So it'll be interesting to see which direction they take. Stuart has a few ideas on who it could be, so we will have to see. And that concluded Athletics Chat 6. Love you guys and gals. Thank you so much for making this program a success. Send me little notes to runblogrun@gmail.com about things you'd like to talk about, and we will do that. And I'm going to do something on Sveinardi Hansen tomorrow. I just need to do a little more research. And so again, hello, my friends all around the world. Stay safe. You can do here's the things we know. Washing your hands for 20 seconds with an alcohol-based product, a good hand sanitizer, is important. When I get in and out of the car, I do that. When I go anywhere, I do that, and I wear the mask, okay? Even if you're not going to get sick, you're helping other people, those you love, from getting sick. The second wave is going to happen. It's going to be more difficult because other illnesses are involved too, and it's going to be a challenge all over the world. So please be careful. When you run, socially distance, stay 6 feet apart, okay? You want to train with your group? Just keep it apart. Just be careful, okay? I don't want people getting sick. Being on a respirator, those kind of things, I watched my dad, and it's really hard to see someone you love with that. So be careful. Socially distance. Call the people you love. Tell them that you love them every day. People that you're with, hug. If you can do that safely. Otherwise, do that. Say, I love you, baby. Anyway, goodbye for now. This is Larry Eder with RunBlogRun from San Jose, California. It's Monday, June 22nd, Athletics Chat 6 Epilogue. Mike Deering, I love you. Thank you very much for putting up with me and doing all this crazy stuff. Talk to you soon. Bye now.